everybody. This is Marcus Geisler with GAMGA TV. I am here today with several representatives of the Erste KG Germania from Cincinnati, or do you guys say Germania? So you guys let me know, and let me give you a chance to please introduce your Karnevalsverein and yourselves, please.
Hello, from Cincinnati.
Hello.
My name is Mike Rampillo. I am the current president of the Carnival Society. Behind me is my wife, Anita Rampillo. She is the correspondence lady person.
She does it all.
That's
She
right.
does.
Okay.
All right, move on to Jim, Stephanie, and Phil.
So I'm Jim Fish, and my wife Stephanie. We are the current prince and princessin of 2020 season, which has flown right into 2020, 2021, I guess. Behind us, I'll let Phil introduce himself.
I'm Phil Wieland. I'm the vice president of the Gesellschaft.
All right, nice to meet you all. Moving on to James and Lupe.
My name is James Penny, and this is...
I'm Lupe Lopez, and we're members. And this is also, you're a young Frau.
I was a young Frau.
Yeah.
A Dreigestirn. I love it. I love it. We'll talk about that more. Wonderful.
He looks better as a woman, I think.
I love his legs.
Many of the guys do, but we'll get there too. Yeah. Welcome. And John and Becky.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, John and Becky Hollis, we're the Hofstadt for the current Prinzenpaar, James and Stephanie. We've also passed Prince and Princessin twice.
All right, wonderful. Good. We got some Tolly-Tet in here. That's awesome. All right, well, let's talk about your find a little bit. When was it founded? Does anyone remember how it came about, or are any of the founding members still around? And maybe also if you can chime in when you started participating in GAMGA, please.
The group started in 1964, and it actually started out of a few people's houses. It wasn't quite the club yet, and then they moved from there into the starting of the Germania Society itself, and then we had our first Prinzenpaar in 1967. The founding father was Ernst Schwab, and he was Mr. Carnival. He knew everything inside and out. Unfortunately, Ernst passed away a few years back, and there still is a few, I think there's about 4 or 5 still alive to this day. So, and they're in our Senate. They're past the
Senators.
Yeah.
All right,
So.
cool. And so when did you guys first start participating with GAMGA?
1980 something.
Yeah, that was right around, I believe, 70, 71. Dana and Edeltraud Reed made the first trip to GAMGA as Prinzenpaar.
Wow. Okay, so that's been goodness. It would have been 50 years, I guess. It will be 50 years this season. So that's quite some time. So cool. Now, obviously, we've got several of you representing here different parts of the verein, I'm assuming. Do you have any performing groups, such as a Prinzengarde or dance groups or musical groups?
We have a Prinzengarde, 3 different groups, basically: the Senior Garde, the Junior Garde, and the Kindergarten. Right now, about 12 participating members. Don't know when they actually started, but we had a member said that she was in the Prinzengarde back in 1970. So it's about the same time that we got involved with GAMGA. She was in the group as I believe in the Junior Garde. I don't think she started in the Kindergarten. But she says that she's not sure when it may have started before her. So it may have been right around then in 1970.
Wow. Okay, that's quite some time. Any other groups?
As far as any type of dance groups, the Prinzengarde does do some free dance during some of our events. along with the Garda dances. As far as any type of a band or anything like that, no, we're not big enough, don't have enough interest in the group for that. As far as fanfare, no.
We do the Mana Ballet though.
Yeah.
Oh, those are
Mike,
fun.
I'll let you take that one.
We do.
Did you say doo-doo?
We do.
It's like Ben and Doo-Doo, yeah.
Yeah, basically the Elferot takes on the role as the minor ballet for a lot of our events at home. It's quite a show. I've participated a few times. Mike, I think, is probably the most senior person participating in them, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
That does sound like a lot of fun. So is that one of the traditions that you guys do? Is that the Erwalat kind of does the Mena Ballet, or and if yes, are there any other traditions that you guys have that your club does usually in a typical year?
Well, I know we've had a lot of traditions over the years. As far as what the Prinzengarde does, as far as they open up help open the opening ball on the weekend after 11/11, because we don't celebrate it always on 11/11 because it's hard to get people together on a weekday. And then, like they say, they do the free dances. They participate in all three of our events, as far as our opening ball, our Maskenball, and our Kier House, our sweep out dance. And they also do a lot of fundraisers to raise funds for some of the travel they do. They've been to GAMGA with us a few times to help raise money for that, and then also to raise funds for new uniforms every so often.
Wow, so I don't hear that very much, that the groups actually do fundraisers, but that's perfect, of course, again for the travel, etc. So
Yeah.
But I heard 3 different events that you guys do. Is that pretty well standard every year?
Yes.
And do those happen? Okay.
Yes.
And how do you distribute those through the Carnival season?
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself, Marcus?
So at what times of the year do those events usually happen? So
Okay.
you said Erste, I'm assuming that's the proclamation as well, right? And
Yeah,
then,
the proclamation, we do that during the opening ball. And then we have in January, late January, we have the Maskenball, and that's, like Mike said, down at the big hotel down in northern Kentucky. And that's like Mike said, it's pretty much second to none as far as the size of the ball and as far as the hospitality we show our guests from all over the country. I mean, we've had people from the Midwest, from way out west, down south, St. Louis, and that. And we publicize it. Anita does a great job publicizing the things we do. And we have a lot of guests. And then, of course, our sweep out dance right before Easter.
And then some of the other traditions you can't forget is that picnic that we always have. So annual summer picnic to really kick it off.
Right.
And then prior to Hoppitas showing up, we actually get together and kick it off at the Hofbräu House. What do we do there, Mike?
Party. We party.
Drink.
Okay, so you do have a Sommerfest coming up. Obviously, that's one of those activities to kind of start planning for the upcoming season, right? And to kind of keep people, with the club, right? Because that's one of the bad things about Carnival. That season is relatively short, right? So that's what you do throughout the year. Then anything else besides the Sommerfest? Regular meetings, maybe?
Oh yeah, we have weekly meetings. On Sundays, we have those. We go on bus trips to Indianapolis. The German Fest up in Milwaukee. We've gone up to Kitchener, Canada, numerous times, and they come down here almost every year for our Maskenball. So St. Louis too. We got St. Louis is out there, Dayton. It's Dayton, Ohio. So yeah, we get around for a small club. I think we do a fantastic job. So
Marcus, Mike gets a little excited when he's on camera. We meet monthly, not weekly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot.
But the other thing that we often do is, for example, we'll go up to Kitchener, Canada during October for their Oktoberfest. So it's not necessarily during the carnival season, but we go up just to keep that camaraderie going between us and them. And they've been known, at least their past Prinzenpaar, to come down to our events, even if it's just a couple to come down. And then, of course, like
Yep.
they said, they always come to our Maskenball with the bus. So it's a good time.
Yeah, they've come down to Chris Kindlemore.
Yep.
So, okay, so it sounds like some of those other activities are then with the other groups of the German clubs then in your respective towns. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, there's some photos that are going to be going on here in the background that you guys are seeing with some of the relationships from Kitchener, etc. there as well. Prinzenpaar. So we have a Prinzenpaar right here with us and some former ones as well. So do you guys have a Prinzenpaar every year? Do you find somebody who does it, or are there years where it maybe doesn't happen? Have you guys been fortunate? You said you're not a big club, so how does that work?
We've only had 1 year where we didn't have it, and that was for our 50th anniversary. And we had all the past Prinzenpaars that were still around come out, and they were honored. That was the, so we had all their names up on the ceiling with boards, and when their year was when they were there and stuff. So it was celebrating them for what they did to get us to where we're at today.
That's cool. That's very thoughtful. Now I did hear that there's a Jungfrau in the house. So James, you're gonna have to tell. So obviously it's not just a Prinzenpaar, but you have a Dreigestirn there every once in a while as well. How does that work?
So I was asked by my good friend over there, Jim, to be the Jungfrau, and I decided that I was going to keep the beard and the goatee going with it. I had a nice dress that Becky gave me, fit perfect.
You can't forget the stuffing too that she.
I had some stuffing. I did have an incident in Milwaukee where the stuffing was left, so I just had to go just good old chest hair hanging out and have a good time and not worry about it.
How funny! That's perfect. Again, since I'm from Köln, that's what I'm used to. Is that Dreigestirn? So it would be odd if it would be anything else, but that's hilarious. Good for you guys.
Marcus, there's something else that we have, and it's called our Munkschenk. And at our 3 formal events, he is there. He's not available tonight to be with us. He had a prayer.
Earl Hickson.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So describe that role to me. What does a Mundschenk do?
a Munkschenk makes sure everyone has a drink.
Okay.
We have a beautiful chalice that has been passed from year to year that he keeps, of course, cleans it, fills it, and for every event makes sure that all of the royalty and the past royalty have a drink during the event. We were blessed because one of our groups up in Milwaukee found out that we couldn't find it, and they presented us with a new one.
Right.
So we cherish that one very much.
Wow. Now, see, that's friendship. I like that. That's awesome. So yeah.
Bonding between the clubs is excellent.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about, I think that network of clubs. I'm also a member of a Trachtenverein here in Sacramento, and the connections between that really kind of keeps it alive. Not only the culture, but also just the that energy that somebody else is doing similar things. So good for you guys to do that, and of course your friendship with Kitchener and some of the other clubs. That is a great participation in that, and certainly contribution to that. Well, as we're getting close to the end here, one of the things I have to ask about, any funny events that you guys can remember that where you go like maybe 15, 20 years later, you're still laughing about. So is there any poignant events, any moments where you go, yeah, that was pretty hilarious. Can anybody come up with one?
I got one that we're down there at the Opera House on Fat Tuesday, but we were actually in a party limo van that the Prince Ron Colwell did for us, and we all got in there and we're bouncing from bar to bar, and we're down at the Opera House in Newport, Kentucky, and we're leaving there and we're going to the casino, Cincinnati for our next stop. And we're out there in the front. I was out there first, make sure the van was ready to go. And there was a group of guys that were out there, and they were waiting for the taxi for almost an hour. And, anywhere Carnival members go in their jackets, looking like we do, we always, everybody's asked questions and whatnot. So they said they were actually going to the same place we were. And I was like, well, how much is your taxi ride going to be? And he said, probably about $60 or whatever. And I said, well, you give me $40 and we'll take you a ride in this thing. So he gave me the $40. I passed it on to Ron, and I loaded him into the bus before most people even came out of the Hofbrau house. And all of a sudden they all come in the van there, and it's like,
Screaming and hollering.
who are these guys? Yeah, we're having our good time. And they're like, who are these guys? And they loved it. We got our
Drinks.
wagon of cheer inside, and so we're pounding them down, toasting and stuff, going over there. We get into the casino, and they take us over to the first bar, and they buy our whole group. And that was a big crowd that day, so there was probably about 16 of us, 14, 16 of us, and they bought us all drinks over there. And it was just stuff like that. It's very nice to the people we meet when we're out traveling.
One of the things
awesome.
I
Good
like
story.
to add is we've developed over the years a relationship with a group in Germany. And we've actually sent a few people over, and they've actually came here and even brought a Tanzpaar a couple of years ago to dance.
Well, that's pretty
Where I
cool.
was, they call it Fasching, not Carnival.
Okay, so you're dealing with a group in central southern Germany then, right?
Near Heilbronn.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's
Where I
always
was a
interesting to
soldier
see
about
how,
45 years ago.
okay.
Wolfstecker, right, Phil?
Yeah, the Wolfstecker.
Okay,
Yep.
They've become a well-known group in the Württembergische Carnival Verein. Because they've actually held a couple of Landesnehrentreffens.
nice.
Everybody from the state comes.
Another crazy thing is one of our trips up to Kitchener, Canada. We just made it over the border, and we were just a few hours away from Kitchener, and all of a sudden the guy makes a wrong turn, and we went right back across the bridge to go back into the United States. So we had to go back over and go through the inspection again. Well, long story short, the guy turns the bus off.
Bus broke down.
Bus broke down. 5 hours later, we're getting into another bus and moving on. I mean, we were stuck. The starter went out, and they had to get a new bus up there for us. And
Snow too.
yeah, and it was in that time there was a big storm coming across, and
No.
it probably was a godsend we got stuck there, so we wouldn't get stuck in the middle of nowhere versus where we were, and needless to say, we're at the border check, and we've got all this pop and water that we're drinking, vibrations and stuff that right there in the middle of all these cameras and stuff. So that was a really funny time for us. Somebody else gotta have something else out there. Come on, guys, what we got?
Well, I don't know if a funny story, but just something I'm going to add. Stephanie and I are relatively new members to the Carnival group. And the thing that amazes me is when we're out doing an event, and even this year with all this COVID going on, we went to the Hofbrau house in Newport, Kentucky. And, we're dressed in our red coats and hats, and it's amazing. People will come up and say, what is this about? And it's just fun to talk to them about what the Carnival season's about and some of the German culture. So it's just, to me, I can talk to anybody. I've never met a stranger. And when folks come up, I just chat with them about what we're doing. It's just fun.
And what is usually their response, Jim?
Well, to be honest, their first response is, can I get a picture? And of course, our response is absolutely. But they're all amazed, and they, most of them have never heard of it. I do remember this year, this past winter, we went up to Indianapolis, and when they closed down the event about midnight, we were leaving the event and they were having a reception for a wedding. And so some of us, including the wife and I, and Becky was there, and we kind of crashed their wedding party. And they had a photo booth. And so we walked into the photo booth and they took some pictures and then handed us the pictures to take home with us. And it's just all in good fun, something, just enjoying ourselves. And like I said, never met a stranger. So.
That's cool. If you think about it, that's kind of the spirit of Carnival, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
You meet people, and you've never seen before, but all of a sudden, if you're in that pub or at that Carnival Sitzung, right at that event, and all of a sudden you've got 100 new friends, and that's I think that's the spirit of Carnival, and I think that's the spirit of GAMGA to a great extent as well. Well, thank you very, very much for sharing all this fun history and the traditions of the Erste KG. Thank you for spending the time, and we very much here at GAMGA TV hope to see you guys in 2022. That seems like a long time away, but I have a funny feeling maybe we might run into you at the German Fest or maybe some other events, and we'll try to add to the video one way or another how people might be able to get on your mailing list to see that Maskenball. Sounds like an awful lot of fun. So thank you again very, very much, and join me in a dreifach kräftiges GAMGA. Hello, GAMGA. Hello, GAMGA. Hello. Dankeschön und auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Salute. Hey.
Hopsler.
Also, without further delay, we'd like to welcome our royal couple from 2019 to 2020. Let's give it up for Prince Jim I and Princess Stephanie I with the Hope Marshall. John and Becky House. Get it. There, give it up for royal couple. Yeah. It's great friends with these. Great Welcome. James and that's the princess.
Overshot. Thanks, girl. It's fantastic.
For our royal couple.
Woo!
Oh, there's you.
Yeah.
Never seen a princess in stolen during that ceremony.
Look.
So, yeah, princess and far and wide, I hear. Lots of places. Even Vegas. We forgot about that. So, I'd like to give you the mic for a second, and you can say hi and address the people on your great adventures.
I got the senator. Hey, I'd just like to take a minute to thank everybody for coming out. It's been a great season. As Mark said, we started the season off at our opening ball in November, and then we traveled to Vegas, and then we had the best masking ball in the world. then we went to Milwaukee, and then Indianapolis, and then Kitchener, Canada, and we ended up back here. And we just appreciate everyone coming out. We appreciate our friends from Dayton who came to our opening for joining us. And thank you all very much. It wouldn't be the same without everybody here. I know some of you traveled with us to Indy, and we just had a blast the whole season. So thank you very much.
Let's give it up for the royal couple. And Princess and Stephanie, do you have a few words? Just to say, huh? You said it all. Okay, there you have it. So once again, Carnival starts out as a hierarchy, and at the end of the season, it's still the same, but we just don't have as much guilt, as much money. But you know, Carnival was all about mocking the politics, and obviously with our royal couple here, they did a very good job of that with all the foolishness they spent and all the, I guess, things that happened on the road. So, so once again, let's give a round of applause for this royal couple. Now, as we do, as far as somewhat mocking, we have the prince has the royal guard, Prinzengarde, and these young, lovely ladies have taken care of this couple. So nobody has messed with them all year. It's been quite an honor. And with that, we have the young Prinzengarde that would like to perform. So first of all, I'd like to ask the royal couple and the Hope Marshal, Hope Donna, please take a seat so you don't have to stand the whole time. And then I'd like to get the Junior Garde up and ready. Are we ready to dance? Is that right?
Yep, they're ready.
Okay. It's nice shiny outfit. What a great job they did there. So,
Hello, Nancy.
now we get to be blessed with the senior Garda. So let's give it up for the senior Garda.
Germania Care House Dance. End of our season.
Wonderful lady. Okay. We have one more treat for you. These two young ladies in front of you have done quite a job. They took over this year as the Gardemeisters. They're teaching these young ladies all these dances. They worked with my daughter, Sarah, who was involved in this for 25 years. And I think she left them with some really good tips because they have done a fantastic job. Great job, gals. Let's give them a round of applause. And without further delay, I'd like to let them show their Tanzpaar dance. Take it away, ladies. Lovely ladies. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Stay up here in the front. I have something here. Would one of you ladies like to say something? I got one more? Oh. Okay. Hey. I didn't know about this bonus. There you go. Catch your breath. You good? Okay. Okay. Woo, man, take a deep breath.
Mainly, Prinzengarde,
Great job.
seniors.
Ladies, why don't you come on up here right away to the front?
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Straight from the Coleraine Township Public Pool, it's the Germania Metal Ballet.
Don't get wet. Don't get wet. Oh, don't get wet. Oh, they're so ugly. Oh, they're so ugly. Oh, they're so ugly. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, they're so ugly. Oh, no. Oh, no. I miss that shit. Ugliest bathers ever. Oh, they're gonna swim. Oh no. I hope they drown. Oh, that is some sickness. They are so graceful. They are so graceful. They are so graceful. That is it. They look so much better now. They look so much better now. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh, they are so coordinated. Oh my. Forward! Forward! Oh, they're going under. They're going under.
First place, the Three Amigos from Germania. Let's get a photo op, girls. Let's get a photo op.
The category is for a couple.
All right, there they are. Germania. One and only, the Three Amigos. Yeah. Best group. Woo.
Congratulations. All right. Now, for a single individual woman, where's that card? You know, the talking card. Congratulations. Nicely done. There we are.
Another one from Germania. Woo! 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 so far.
Now, single male. Dating all the way back to 1960s. Where's that decade? The hippie. Hippie. There it is. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can just get your attention, this kind of round out the official part of the evening. So with that, before we move on with the variations, I would just like to say, on behalf of everyone here tonight from the Concordia Council, our home club, the Concordia, from our hearts to yours, every single person in this room contributed to one memorable evening. Our hearts go out to you. And remember, the big ones under one hat. Every individual sometimes we get called upon in life to do many things. So no one falls under any simple set of labels, nor does anyone fall under one hat. We often have to wear different hats. Is that right, Mike? Oh, yes. Indeed. So remember, if you think that you need an attitude adjustment, maybe you just need a checkup from the neckline. Look at your hat, put on a different one. Make your day a shiny day like this is wearing a different attitude, a different hat. Thank you again. God bless. Everyone, please come home safe. We look forward to seeing you soon again. Keep our holidays in your heart. Thank you again to our royal couple and everyone that made this evening happen. Hats off to every one of you. Thank you.
Friends forever, right there.